All right, hello, and welcome to the first installment of the Jungle Sports podcast, episode 1, of course. Today's August 23rd. And we're going to be discussing a couple hot topics in sports here. That's what the show's going to be all about. That's pretty much it. I don't know. We're just going to talk about sports. All right, we're gonna jump right into it today. First topic is going to be Urban Meyer receives a 3-game suspension for mishandling domestic assault allegations against Zach Smith. Of course, Zach Smith had a couple run-ins throughout the years, even dating back to when he was on Urban Meyer's staff at Florida. And the investigation has gone, I think, maybe 3 weeks so far, and I think I think Meyer is getting what he deserves. I'm never one to say somebody should lose their job over something like this, but watching his statement after the announcement was made, where he read something from a pre-written script, and he did not seem very remorseful. He was even questioned about. I'm sorry, the young lady's name. I'm forgetting, but he did not seem remorseful or sympathetic towards her when asked by the reporters, which I see as a problem. He got very lucky. He easily could have lost his job because in 2018, people are stepping up and not tolerating assault cases like this. And this is something we're trying to cut back on, and he, over the course of the past decade, has just, let it run right past. He's allowed Zach Smith to stay on his staff, and even denied knowledge when it came out that Zach Smith had been charged. And, it's something that bothers me, and it's bothered, of course, a lot of people that have talked about it today. So, I think Urban, he's always had, I don't want to say he's run a dirty program, but I think he has, he's had some players that have gotten into trouble over the years, whether it's been at Florida. I think it happened a little more at Florida, but now that he's back at Ohio State, I think, he's had a couple run-ins there, which tends to happen with top recruits, but we'll stay in college football here. Why don't we read a couple tweets here about the Meyer ruling. This is from @Zach Blatt, or Blatt, considering depending on where you come from. Here's the reality: if you win football games, you can get away with pretty much anything. Voice crack there. That very well may be the case here. I'm not gonna completely assume that Ohio State, but it does. It looks a lot like that could be the case. At Matt Hayes, CFB, college football. No one at Ohio State has apologized to the victim. The reason everyone is where they are right now. So no one at Ohio State has apologized to the victim. The reason everyone is where they are at right now. Yeah. This is former Buckeye Joshua Perry at RIP_JEP. Hashtag Buckeye Nation. Let's all take a deep breath here. Whether you agree or disagree with the verdict, the sun will come up tomorrow and the Buckeyes will be fine. They have the best of everything. Assistant coaches, training, and players. This team will be just fine. Hashtag Go Buckeyes. I think that's a little program bias there, if you ask me. Um, I think he's forgetting that we're dealing with a woman who's been affected here. Meyer knew about it, denied that he knew about it, and then it came out that he did know about it, and he didn't even seem remorseful during the press conference. So this comes from Faux Polini at Faux Polini. And it's a picture of Bo Pelini in a turtleneck sweater holding a cat. This is weird, but Ohio State investigated Ohio State and decided not to ruin Ohio State's football program. I like that one. This is from at Dan Wolken. Intentional or not, the lasting message of that press conference is Urban Meyer yakking on an easy question by equating his own burden with Courtney Smith's. Unacceptable and disgraceful. I'm kind of on the same page there. I mean, I can't say he should have lost his job for this, and maybe the 3-game suspension is appropriate. But I think the problem was the lack of remorse coming from him during the press conference. I think that's the problem here with everybody. Brad Crawford at B Crawford 247. Urban Meyer asked about Courtney Smith. Okay, so he was asked about Courtney Smith, who is the woman affected here. Well, I have a message for everyone involved. I'm sorry we're in this situation. This means equals I hate that it got out, not that Courtney Smith was beaten. Yeah, you pretty much get the gist here. Urban Meyer got very lucky, didn't seem remorseful, or obviously didn't feel like he looked lucky, if that makes any sense. But yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame. But life, of course, will go on, like Joshua Perry said. Let's talk about. Let's jump over to the NBA. Let's talk about some NBA news. NBA likely to introduce 3 new rule changes. It recommends shot clock replay rule changes. So let's see what we got here. This is coming from BleacherReport.com, of course. Article written by Adam Wells. The NBA is reportedly exploring potential rule changes involving the shot clock and foul calls that would trigger a replay review. Per ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski, the NBA Competition Committee is recommending resetting the shot clock to 14 seconds after offensive rebounds and expanding the definition of what constitutes a hostile act for the purpose of replay review. Woj added the NBA Board of Governors is likely to pass the rule changes at their meetings on September 20 and 21st before going to the teams for approval. The measures will need 2/3 of the owners to approve in order to pass. The NBA experimented with resetting the shot clock to 14 seconds after an offensive rebound during the Summer League. The WNBA implemented the shot clock rule in 2016 after a recommendation by its competition committee. This was also used in the G League starting the 2017 season. Another rule change being considered is simplifying the clear path foul, which is currently lists 5 bullet points, including when the ball and the offensive player are positioned between the tip-off circle extended and the basket, when there is no defender between the ball and the basket, and when the foul denied an offensive team a chance to score. The hostile act rule is one where player intentionally or recklessly harms or attempts to harm another player by attempting to punch, kick, elbow, or hit the opponent in the head. Officials determine if the offending player is assessed a flagrant 1 or 2 foul that can lead to ejection from a game and or suspension. A lot of interesting things. So the hostile act rule, the clear path foul has been changed, and a shot clock change. So resetting the shot clock after an offensive rebound. I thought that's what already happened. If it hits the rim, the offense grabs it. I thought it always reset to 14. Oh, no, it would. Okay, so it would reset to 24. I gotcha. Kyrie Irving named the Little Mountain and Standing Rock Sioux Tribe ceremony. So what? That's like the name that was given to him. We are welcoming home. Interesting. WNBA. I thought the WNBA playoffs already happened. I don't really care. Of course, Miami trying to re-sign Haslam and Wade. I think that's a good idea. Those are veterans that have been there as long as I can remember. And they could definitely help out the young guys there who, they've been a fringe playoff team the past couple years. Of course, Wade would be a great addition to any team, but of course he's denied China the big 3-year, 21 whatever $1 million contract China offered him, which isn't even that much. I mean, of course that's big for China, Chinese basketball team, but he's was never really going to accept that, was he? Let's jump over to the NFL. Have we talked NFL? I don't think so. Let's see here. Sean Watson. I'm guessing he's playing well. The Raiders signed Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie. This is interesting. He's been around the league a while, 32 years old. Spent the previous 4 campaigns with the Giants. Played the nickel role. He's a solid player. Surprised the Raiders. The Raiders have picked up, some guys in their 30s that have. This is just, my opinion. They tend to pick up these guys who are at the end of their run, like Jones Drew, Beast Mode, and now Rodgers Cromartie. So, just a trend. Let's see what else we got here. Bob Wiley, coach for the Browns. His gut moves synchronizes with the snap count. Let me see if I can add this to the podcast here. That's good. That is good. What is this? There's more info out on Jimmy Smith's violation from the Baltimore Ravens. This is a quote from the Ravens. The NFL found evidence of threatening and emotionally abusive behaviors by Jimmy toward his former girlfriend that showed a pattern of improper conduct. Our players' behavior was inappropriate and wrong. Let's look at a list from CBSSports.com that talks about quarterback needy teams and maybe the moves that they should make before week 1. First one off the list is Teddy Bridgewater, something we discussed. I think the Jets should, Dante Fowler, a swap with Bridgewater, maybe sweeten it on either side. If you feel like Bridgewater holds more value, then maybe Jacksonville sweetens it, or if you feel like Dante Fowler would have the upper hand here because the Jets actually need him. Bridgewater would just be insurance on the Jaguars. McCown to the Rams. Of course, Sean Mannion backs up Goff, which is not great. So I think if you're in New York, you got to pick. You want to send McCown out or you want to send Bridgewater. I don't think you could send both. And of course, something talked about Monday and Tuesday is Baker's shirtless underwear ad. Of course, posing with the Rolls Royce with the suicide doors and a tiger. Oh, jeez. Yeah. And, We're in the slow month of sports seasons where the NFL hasn't started yet. College football, we're still about a week or two out. Nothing going on in the NBA. So, this is tough to find a lot of topics here. Interesting, of course, the Meyer story is a bit of a bombshell. But, yeah, I feel like we had a good first run here. We'll see you back on sometime next week. It's been great. Thank you for joining us today. If you stuck around, this is kind of what we'll stick to, just something laid back, talking about sports, watching sports while I talk about sports. You get the gist of it. Yeah. Thank you for joining us. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you get notified every time we upload. Try to do it sometime in the afternoon, maybe not too late. Depends on when I get the chance, but you'll get to see it. That's the point, no big deal. No big deal. But yeah, thanks for joining us. Hope to see you again real soon. And bye.